You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I hate authority, but I'm a mom.
I'm an old man. I need orthopedic shoes.
The laughs, the chuckles, the TMI.
Some people might say, why would you have kids? The oceans are rising. The economy's collapsing.
And they're not wrong. I'm Ross.
And I'm Patrick.
And we hired a sitter.
We're recording audio. Recording audio.
Can you hear me?
Recording
Do I sound
audio.
clear as a bell?
You do. You sound clear, Isabel. Hi. She sounds clear, Isabel.
I'm back.
It's another Ross episode. Hi. Hi.
I have to live with this for the rest of my life.
That was exaggeration. That sound I just made is the sound Franny makes when this one belches.
But that is a specific belch. That is when I'm drinking non-alcoholic beers. I think that the belch really comes out in that aggressive.
It's guttural.
Because I just burped drinking this coffee, and I don't think it was the same.
When a coffee burp is like, and then a beer burp is.
I hate this. I have anything in my teeth?
No, you're clear. just sugar bugs that need to be brushed out. You got to brush out your sugar bugs, folks. That's what we're talking about today on We Hired a Sitter for This, a podcast about parenting and relationships and sex and coffee.
Yeah.
This is a weird start. We're off to a weird start. We're in a new studio space today.
Also known as our one-bedroom apartment where we do it all.
Yeah, this studio costs us about $2,200 a month to rent.
But that's
a mortgage payment.
That's a mortgage and and
I'm sorry. I'm being silly and gross and weird. I've talked to Gas Store about this. I always have like this tiny bit of phlegm that I have to just work out.
I know.
I got to do vocal
permanently.
I have to do vocal warm-ups more properly.
I've got to go into like a misophonia lockdown between you and Fran and your coughs.
Misophonia has come up a lot this week. We'll get into that. But all right, 1-bedroom apartment. You were making a point about living here and the mortgage.
And that's also our building maintenance fee.
Oh, yes. So
that's the upfronts and the back ends.
That's we're talking about overhead now. We got a 23. It's got to be more like $2,300 total.
Who even knows? Maybe that's part of the problem. We don't know.
Maintenance fee. We're paying like $850 a month. I think
it's up to $850. I thought
like
it was $700.
No, it's around $800.
Meanwhile, the fucking elevator. Oh, these are some real privileged problems.
Our elevator's down again.
Again?
Can you believe it?
What am I paying for?
I've got running water in 2 sinks and a bathtub, and at any temperature I want at any time.
I'm like, next you're gonna tell me that the deck furniture on our beautiful roof
is rusting.
Isn't ready for summer.
Why do I
pay this money?
Why does this Shays Lounge have a patina on it? And who's going to pick up these cigarette butts? Cigarette butts were a big scandal on our roof for years.
Oh, is that what prompted them to put in those ashtray things?
Those wall ashtrays.
So they weren't there before.
Yeah, because people downstairs.
People are fucking garbage.
Yeah. If you want to hear all the scuttle about our building, go back to like episode like 10 or something. Remember the tent gate 2019?
And guess who's running for the board?
Oh, yeah. You want to be board president, huh?
No, I do not want to be board president.
Co-president?
I think Liz Lee is more apt for that.
Should we be name dropping the names
Probably
of presidents?
Not. Beep it. Check the time.
Should I do that?
I don't know. Does anybody listen?
I think we have like 4 listeners on YouTube who keep checking in.
That's cute.
Hey, YouTube, what's up? And then you know what's crazy? I looked at I should be looking at these numbers to see which episodes are working and which are not. We should be looking
at a lot of different numbers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I looked at
numbers.
Our episode about how we both lost our respective virginities.
Oh.
Had like 500 downloads or something compared to like
That was my idea.
Compared to dozens of downloads on other episodes.
Yeah,
so
people want the juice.
Well, people want topics that they can follow.
And they can relate to.
We're just like, hey, let's turn on the microphones and catch up because we never talk.
But you know what, though? Most of the podcasts I listen to are more that than like hardlined topics.
Yeah.
I actually I'm starting a podcast from the beginning today.
What is it?
Called Nympho Wars.
Oh, what is that about?
2 trans women comedians who just talk all about sex. I think one identifies a little bit more as a sex addict and the other one identifies a little more as a love addict.
Oh, and which are you relating to?
I don't know yet, but the title of the first episode is By Orgy.
Oh. Wow.
And I'm honestly, it just feels like some levity. And I know one of the 2 women just wrote and directed a movie that I'm dying to see with my other fave, John Early, called Stress Positions. And we saw her open for him. She used to go by the silly name Ham Sandwich, and she like opened his stand-up show like doing
at Bell House.
Yeah, but like the first one we ever saw, I think she like performed some songs, and I was just listening to a. Does anybody give a shit? I was listening to a podcast with John Early, who said that this woman Theta, wrote him this script for his birthday, and then it got turned into a fucking feature film.
Wow, why don't I have better friends?
I'm like, what a birthday present.
My birthday was in March. I got no scripts, not even a spec, not even an outline, not even a pitch.
Did I give you a card? I think
I don't think so.
I didn't give you a Father's Day card.
Maybe Ham Sandwich can write a birthday card for me, give it to you, and then you can give it to me. Mm-hmm. That's the sandwich method of birthdays.
That'd be great. Anyways, I digress. Name dropping successful gay comics that I love.
Yeah, you are pretty gay, pretty queer.
Pride Month. Happy Pride.
Our podcast listening algorithms are very different.
Very different.
It is where I am probably most straight is podcasts.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell. Don't tell anyone I know or love what your podcasts are like.
I love Alex Jones, okay? And Tucker Carlson, I got to just listen to know what the other side's talking about.
I mean, you do go into a Joe Rogan, don't you?
Long time.
Okay.
It's probably been over a year since I've listened to any Rogan.
That makes me happy.
Because even now, when there's a comic on there that I really love, it's garbage. Rogan has lost his mind. He's
a
weird.
monster.
He smokes way too much weed. He can't keep up with anybody. He doesn't get jokes. It's like, and it's an inside. It's like a open secret that people make fun of him about, that he's not fun to talk to.
So cool. What a wild success.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, what do you want to talk about? How are you?
I'm doing better.
It's been a week. We'll start with the misophonia. You really... So Franny's birthday was this weekend. She got a new karaoke machine.
I'm stressing out even just
it's a tiny karaoke boom box. It's literally like a 5-inch speaker. Your aunt sent it to her.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's so fun. It's got 2 mics. You can set up your Bluetooth to play something through it, and then you just rock out with this thing. But
I'm Googling misophonia just so I can give a description.
Yeah, what is it?
A strong reaction to specific sounds. Misophonia may cause reactions to sounds such as dripping water,
bloop, bloop, bloop,
chewing, snapping gum, or repetitive noises such as pencil tapping. Honestly, none of those bother me.
Let's do an ASMR podcast with...
People with misophonia can become... I'm actually reading this for you, too, so that you don't think I'm just, like, full of shit. Can become irritated, enraged, or even panicked when they hear their trigger sounds.
Well, here's what I would say is I think you're just irritated, panicked, and enraged.
Anyway.
In general. Like, that's your general default state.
That's not nice.
So
my default state?
No, it's not your default, but you get you're irritated right now.
Well, who wouldn't be? By someone their long-term partner telling them their default state.
It's a state. It's one of your states.
Sure.
All right, what's the end of it say?
Treatments? You want to know about treatments?
What you do is you cut out your ears.
misophonia causes often report the onset of the disorder is associated with a profound disgust of hearing family members eating during childhood.
Oh, that's so funny that it's family members.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, which family member made you annoyed? Well, you don't care about chewing sounds.
No, I don't. And I think that's the most common one. My therapist thinks that I have it on some level. Maybe it's just sound sensitivity. I do think it really started to pop off for me postpartum. Like, I think it's connected to my like heightened state of awareness as a mom.
Well, and you've also had the one with the holes. What's that? The trypophobia.
I got my phobias.
You get skeeved.
I got my phobia.
You're easily skeeved. I'm skeeved too, but
I'm unwell.
You make fun of me for the things I get skeeved about.
Like what?
Like
well, you're
certain,
making fun of me right now. You just told me my default is fucking.
You know what else misophonia does? It makes you defensive. Sticky things, like wet certain things that are certainly a certain type of wetness, clamminess, sticky. I don't like sticky.
And I think.
And you will rag on me about that a little bit. This is for the visual. If you're hearing a weird, awkward pause, that's her doing a eye roll, a physical eye roll. A physical.
It's hand, it's head, it's eyes.
Okay.
You know, everything's rolling.
Uh-huh.
I think that actually it's an interesting swap because like the things that like bother me and enrage me, you probably find like mildly irritating, but you're not really that bothered by it. Where I think I feel that way about like sticky wet, where I'm like, ew, that's kind of gross, but it's not like making my skin crawl.
Yeah, well, I do so much mental checking out that you don't do. When it's time for me to check out, you check in and you absorb and you react.
Well, this is the thing. I never stopped. I'm checked in
constantly.
24/7, 365.
Yeah, you are raw nerve.
Unless I'm watching my wives. You know what I mean?
But anyway, this karaoke machine has... Here, I will say, there's one horrible thing about this machine. It's not just you turn on the mics and you sing into them. The mics can change pitch. Like you hit a button and it goes through 4 different pitches. So you scream into it and you can sound like a robot or an alien or whatever. And it's all high frequencies. There's no bass in this thing. And it sounds like somebody's screeching through a telephone.
It sounded like a horror movie.
It's like a telephone through a bullhorn, you know? And it's like really, it sounds horrible. But it's so fun for her. She loves this thing. And we turned it on, and you really... I thought you were going to run and jump through the glass window. And I wanted to say, honey, don't dive through the window. We're only on the 3rd floor. It won't be fatal.
I think it would be as long as
Go
I went
upstairs.
head first.
You would have to have so much discipline to purposely land on your head out on the street.
Now I'm not disciplined. Great.
Any human would have to... You know, you ever do a pencil dive?
Yeah, of course.
Where you have to hold your... You would have to do that.
But head.
Yes. And you'd have to crush the C4 through the C7 vertebrae.
C5, C6 are already on their way out, remember?
They're fucked. Yeah, you got stress-related back pain also.
I don't think it'll take much.
So the misophonia has been on an 11 for you. It's been a hard week or 2 or 10 days. How many days? What's happening? What's happening in the life of Ross?
Well, I did talk about it a little bit last week, I guess, right?
Well, last week it was interesting. I think we talked about...
It was right before the floor just fell out.
Yeah. I think we were just basically doing a general comparison of where we were both at in relation to dating as married people, etc. And... I
don't know why I'm nervous.
Yeah, and I want to... That's why I said to you... yesterday we can talk about things specifically or not. There's no pressure
as long as you're fine with it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not that big. Like I feel like I'm making it into
here
some
it comes,
like enormous
everybody
thing.
Here it comes. Get those earbuds in, pull up a chair.
The big D. No, never. Don't separate.
Oh, the big D. Well, you did. All right, I'll share my side of this.
Okay. Before I even tell the details.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was Monday night last week. We were sitting on the couch. Or no, I was at work. Yeah, you called me. I was working, and you said, "Hey," or we were texting.
I just texted you.
Yeah, you said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this current relationship I'm in. I know it's not a good time right now because we're both working."
It was during the day. It was like during the work day, and I was like, nothing serious is happening. I just feel like I haven't communicated anything about this to you, and I feel like I would like to.
Which is you do that. You like to like have people on the same page. You're a communicator. I'm a compartmentalizer where I'm like, if I'm seeing somebody and things are getting weird or complicated, you might sort of be the last person to know.
Except I'm not, because I fucking know you, and I can like feel I'm a witch, and I can like feel your energy, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. So anyway,
you think you're doing a good job, but you're not.
Well, yeah, and I guess I'm also sort of like, I want to wait and see what the hell's happening, or it takes me a long time to wrap my head around whatever's happening.
Sure. I'm a check-in.
Yeah, you like a check-in.
I like a check-in,
which is good, and I'm not.
I know.
I think that's...
Oh, I know.
So you said, I want to tell you about what's going on, not right now, though. So that gave me a good 24 hours to decide, like, is this NRE, this new relationship energy that she's feeling, is she like... Because here's my fear. I'll spell out my fear.
Mm-hmm. And then I need to circle back to something.
Yeah. You, this person you were seeing, non-binary, queer... You're queer, you're bi, you're gay, as we talked about.
Yep.
I guess I have this fear that you, at some point, you're going to kind of realize, like, I think I'm so much more queer than Patrick is, because I don't really relate as queer.
Yeah.
I'm straight.
Queer adjacent.
I don't think I want to be with a straight man. Like, I think I'm too queer for this marriage. He's too straight for the life I want to have, and this new person I've met checks all the boxes, and I'm gonna tell him about it. So I start going to this place of like, I'm about to get divorced.
I guess I should start packing my things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I said it's not a big deal, I just want to check in.
Yeah. I'm like, check in? My life's over.
The papers have been filed.
We're going to talk feelings? Life, it's ending. Litigation is about to begin.
Litigation, mediation, not litigation.
Well, litigation is anything court related. If you sue somebody, you're in litigation. Anyway,
but that's not what happened.
All right, you wanted to circle back. So let's just keep teasing this cliffhanger.
Oh,
let's circle
wait,
back.
what am I circling back to?
You said before you say that.
But what did you say after your?
I think we were talking about compartmentalizing and how we communicate.
I knew this was gonna happen.
A work day. You said it's not a big deal.
It's gone.
Okay.
I knew it.
The mom brain.
So yeah, I guess I just wanted to let you know that the dating of this person, like, feelings had developed. It wasn't just like
which I'll circle back to something.
Okay.
I can remember when things got really serious between you and another partner, and you...
The OG?
I don't know which one. The person you had coffee with yesterday.
Yes.
And I remember who you're not in a relationship with, but you're still close friends.
We're good friends, yeah.
I remember when you said, like, just so you know, I love this guy, basically. That's the short version.
Sure.
Which is fine.
Okay. Keep going. Gotta remember my circle back.
Write it down. She's circling back, folks. She's circling back. You need one of those AI recorders so you remember what you're talking about.
Keep it away from me.
So we have AI listening and recording right now, actually.
Creepy.
I remember thinking, I mean, the joke I tell about it on stage is my wife says I love you to another man, and my friends say, how do you handle that? And I'm like, it's easy. I just don't believe her.
Which I laugh at it almost every time.
Yeah, because that is how my brain operates. I'm just sort of like, okay, have fun, whatever.
Whereas I'm like, the less storytelling for me, the better. So like, if I really know what's going on, even if maybe it makes me uncomfortable at first, that's helpful for me so that my brain isn't just like off being like, well, like, just like you're saying, like, Patrick's fallen in love with somebody else and he's leaving this family, and now I have to figure out if I have to sue him for this house.
Oh, wow.
Just kidding.
Now I got to check in with my lawyer friends.
Yeah, I got to make sure that my name's on the deed.
All right. So what's your circle back?
My circle back is, I guess, what would you prefer? Like, to me, giving you a heads up that I want to talk about something feels better than just like springing it up on you. But like, I never know, because like when you're in the zone, you're in the zone, and I don't want to disrupt it. And so like, and then it's bedtime and it's chaos and I'm like tired, and it's like, I don't know. It just feels like I never know when the right time is. So by like making a point of being like, hey, I want to talk to you about this, at least like plants a seed of like, I want this to happen at some point. When is a good time? Basically.
Yeah, I think just adding a little. Hi. I'm laughing. That sound. Did I say that sound
know.
Is her? Is that sound is not me being insensitive or whatever. Franny does this impression of Ross's belch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did say that.
That's
yeah.
really killing at home.
Yeah,
here.
it's the funniest thing she does.
I was like, Franny, how do I burp? How do I burp? Franny,
she does
how do I burp?
she does it at a higher pitch. She goes, hi.
Oh, she's funny.
She is. She's a funny kid. A little context, just like, hey, can I like talk to you about this new person? Because at this point, all I know is that you had gone on like several dates with them, like
in
probably,
a short period of time,
probably like 5 or 6 dates in a couple weeks, which is not normal for us because like. But I was just sort of like, fine, go see your new pal. I'm busy. I've got shit to do. And like, part of me is sad because I want you to feel excited about me in all these ways. But like, also we're busy. Life is hard and tiring and exhausting, and it's been hard. I'm just sort of like, yeah, go have fun. That was my mentality.
And you were so just like, yeah, like without skipping a beat every time. And I was just like. And I was sort of like, I guess he's fine with all of this. Like, I was kind of confused by how Cavalier.
I'm a cavalier daddy.
About it, that I felt like I needed to check in because I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah, and I think I was sort of, that's like, I think a part of me just being like, well, I don't want to push back. Like, this,
I don't want to talk about it.
No, there was like an element of like, this feels like a lot, but I also don't feel like dealing with. I don't feel like talking about it.
Sure.
Like I'm tired, and I'm with my kid, and I'm like trying to have a nice Sunday or whatever. Like there was one Sunday
that I went
in
for
particular
coffee.
where I was just like, I thought that was gonna be like an hour and a half. Go get a coffee, and it was like 3 hours or something, and I'm like,
well, it was the amount of time that you thought. You just weren't factoring in travel.
I know, but my point, the big point I'm trying to get to. What is the big point I'm trying to get to?
You don't want to talk about anything ever?
No, I didn't. Not ever. Oh, when things had gone sour or you were having a hard time, I wish you would have said, I kind of need to check in with you about this new relationship. Things are feeling funky. I'm feeling uncomfortable, and I'm struggling a little bit. It's not about you. Like, I think I need to hear it's not about you. But
or us.
But I need to like check in with somebody about it. Can I talk to you? Or it feels important for me to check in with you about it. Because I do want to know if like you're being disrespected or put in any unsafe scenario. Or
on Monday when I said that to you, it was just more about me being like, hey, just want to check in about the fact that like feelings have developed quickly with this person. But then by Tuesday when we talked, shit had popped off.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was an interesting window.
Yeah. And then that led to like a couple days of like you sharing what was happening and what sort of symptoms you're like experiencing with this person, or traits about this person you're noticing.
Yeah.
You said at one point, like, I can't tell if I've been love bombed.
Yeah.
Which was like a red flag for me to hear.
Yes.
And then like the more you shared with me about this person, I was sort of relating to them a little bit with how I've behaved in other relationships. Especially when I was younger, not really currently. Currently, I'm proud to say I've been pretty nearly 1,000% honest. I'm trying to find
nearly pretty close.
I've been way more honorable than I was as a 25-year-old.
Of course, my God, we wouldn't. My God, we wouldn't be married if that were the case.
Yeah. So. Anyway, we had a lot of talks. You basically you were having a hard time with this person.
Yeah.
And it led to you hating our daughter's new karaoke machine. So
on some level, sure. That probably would have happened anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think I've been talking about this in therapy a lot. And
extra appointments on the books.
Extra 2 appointments.
Got noon on speed dial.
Yeah, truly.
Can we talk names?
Yeah,
we used to name our couples therapist.
That's true.
We had a whole theme song for her.
Yeah. Oh, bless.
What would Nuna's song be?
I don't know. Let me focus. But I think
I'm doing the mom. You can't see it in the shot, but I'm doing the mom ankle waggle.
Like
everybody knows,
legs are crossed and the ankle's just going.
You know the mom ankle waggle.
She's relaxing, but she's also got stuff on her mind.
Yes, and if I just shake this foot, I will figure out how to get the groceries and drop the kids off at soccer and get home in time for Real Housewives. She's doing trigonometry in her foot.
That's funny. Someone write that down. Anyway.
AI?
I got, I think I'm struggling. I don't want to pathologize myself. I'm not too interested in like I'm an addict.
Yeah.
Just in general. Yeah. Right? And I can get addicted to anything.
Might as well face it. You're addicted to love.
And, you know, we've been having a non-monogamous relationship for 7 years now.
Wow. You got the 7-year itch.
Way to go.
Maybe you have the 7-year itch to be monogamous again.
You do. I don't.
You're like, I got the itch to be with this schlub.
10 people. Why are you saying? I don't understand. We're like saying 2 different things.
I'm saying you have the 7-year itch where it's like for 7 years you've gotten to have all this. You've gotten to have all this other stuff. I just burped and I smell the peanut butter I just ate, which brings me back to
projectile.
Which brings me back to what I asked you earlier. Do I just always smell like peanut butter?
Well, I also.
And why won't you fuck me? Hun,
which I do.
Hun, I'm slathered in peanut butter inside my body and outside my body.
Just like I like it.
Give me some of that jelly.
What are you saying?
I'm saying about the 7-year itch that you've had this non-monogamous life for 7 years, so now you got the itch to go back to a conservative lifestyle.
But
it's
you're
a joke.
joking.
That's a joke. Because the 7-year itch is when you're
I get it.
Traditional. But when you're a trad wife.
But then I was saying how no, that's actually what you want, and I'm still a big slut.
Yeah.
Is that funny? Is that a tag to the joke?
But what? So
anyway,
yeah, big slut. But like, what do you want though? You want just like a fun little extra partner, or you want to go get just a bi orgy from episode 1 of Nymphomaniacs?
Nympho Wars. I'm not opposed to a bi orgy. I don't know if that's what I want right now.
Wow. Well, we're gonna have to talk.
What?
We're gonna have to have some talks.
Like, I'm surprised that you're surprised at this information.
I'm just being fun. I have to act. You have to act
surprised.
So our regular viewers and listeners aren't like, wow, what a cuck. He just lets her do whatever.
Okay. Well, that's help. Looking at this fucking rocking chair,
oh, yeah.
Dad.
Franny got a new tiny rocking chair.
Oh my God. That's really the worst paint job ever. Anyway, I don't know what I'm looking for, and I think that's like part of it. And I'm like trying to like figure that out in therapy and in 12-step recovery meetings. And I think some of it is healthy. I think some of it isn't. Like, I think wanting some fun that has nothing to do with my family occasionally, and it's just like me being me, is fine. But then because I'm an addict, I can take that to an extreme, and I have to like not just keep that in check, but keep my intentions in check. And like, what is it? Because then it becomes a chase of something that I'm like, I don't even know why I'm chasing this, or what is the hole I'm trying to fill.
Oh, which ones? How many?
Like,
and how often?
Is it figurative? Is it literal? Is it spiritual?
Yeah.
Is it sexual? Is it all of the above?
Is it sensual?
So
how about a podcast called The Sensual Hole?
Okay.
Just spitballing here.
Are we having a brainstorm? Okay.
Well, also, we talked around this a little bit last episode, but like when you think about what you want as an individual, like around sex and relationships,
yes,
can that potentially be a distraction for a person from other things? Like for me, I think I used this stuff as a distraction from the hard work of my creativity and my art and my career goals, which have always been pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
But I would make some headway in my career, and then I would experience some kind of rejection, or it wouldn't be as easy as I hoped it would be, or things wouldn't happen fast enough. And then it was like, well, why think about these frustrations when I can go like have some crazy experience?
Yeah.
And I think that can really take over for people.
Yep.
I mean, I go to enough meetings where I hear people talk about it, and it's kind of, as an outside listener, it's easy. I mean, it's easy for me to just judge another person's life and be like, oh, well, it sounds like you're checking out on that
Sounds like you're checking out on that addiction.
Yeah.
Been there.
Which is me, like definitely projecting. Like I guess it's the spot it, you got it situation. So I don't know. I guess that's something to think about, is like, what do you want for your day-to-day life? Like because I mean, I often go to this place of like, well, that's not my real life, all that crazy stuff. My real life is here in this home with you and my kid and my job and like what I want my career to look like, and like everything I would talk very openly at a family picnic about, you know. But like
traditional family values.
Yeah, but then like all this other stuff, I'm like, that's my fun, escape life, you know. So anyway,
I think we experience it differently. Like
double leg cross. We need to get 2 cameras in here. We should have a wide shot so you can see all this leg.
This leg work.
All this leg work. Oh, that'll hurt me if I. This is as high as I can go. We're like the Rockettes. We're like the Rockettes. Here.
You got it. I think we want different things and experience these things differently as far as open relationships.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave my family I've been talking a lot with Nuna about how like the foundation that you and I have and that we've created and the family that we have is what allows me to feel safe enough to go explore other parts of my life.
Yeah.
Because I do think that if I was single, or I don't know, if the circumstances were different and I was just like out there, I think it might look real crazy for me.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be really chaotic. And you know, like, I'm somebody that I get a lot out of like one-on-one human connection. Like, that's really important to me, and identifying with people.
Sounds like you would really hate an orgy.
Well, an orgy, yes. A threesome, no.
You would like a threesome.
I've liked a threesome with you.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
An orgy, yeah, that's too much. As we also know, kind of, from going to like a sex party together where we were just like, oh, no, it's too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, by orgy, no. By threesome, yes.
Wow.
I don't like parties of over 4 people.
Yeah.
Across the board. Dinner. I mean, I'll go to a party, but like
backgammon.
I just 4 or less.
Yeah.
That's kind of my ideal scenario. But yeah, I mean, does that resonate though? That like the foundation that I have with you is what allows me to feel safe to like explore things.
The metaphor I think we talked about, I don't know if this was in couples therapy or on here. I don't know when the hell, or if I just think about this, but I think of us like being at the edge of the ocean or at the beach, you know, and like we both go swim off into the waves and do whatever. But it's like you always see the like
you can see each other.
There's like you're anchored.
Yes.
You're safely within the bounds. Like you're not like there's a lifeguard. There's like precautions.
There's that rope. In the water.
Yeah, the plastic anal beads floating. So even if you're getting into anal beads, you're still within reach of each other.
And to me,
and I think we've both probably pushed that limit sometimes to where it feels scary.
Yes.
Or upsetting.
Yes.
Or exhausting, or just like annoying.
Yes.
So I guess it does feel like you are in a phase where you want more, or you want like you're also like post-child. Is it perimenopausal? Is that the term you taught me recently?
I don't know if I'm perimenopausal, but it's that there's a lot of perimenopausal talk going on for women my age because there's no research on menopause or perimenopause or women's bodies.
We were busy studying astrophysics and space.
There's just like a lot of new research being conducted finally in the year of our Lord 2024 around hormones, women's bodies, how different our bodies are from male bodies.
Yeah.
So that's a conversation. I
guess I'm just bringing that stuff up. Like, do you feel like you're in this sort of like the fear of getting older, like that kind of stuff? I mean, that affects me, and I'm not like accusing you.
Yeah.
I've been with other people that have gone through that and have talked very openly with me.
'Cause you love an older gal.
Oh, I'm looking for 70 plus. I want to be basically monogamous. I'm a little busy for other relationships right now, but yeah, if you're 70 plus, you're
looking to hold a little boy.
You just want to like caress a young boy and let me call you mommy. Then
this is gross.
Wow.
I mean,
kink shame.
Because I was going in my brain, it was going into pedophilia. That's when you're like, hold a little boy. And,
no.
You know, but I know that's not what you meant. I know.
I'm the neighbor. I'm
the young neighbor.
Yeah, and I'm 43. I'm still I'm a grown man.
But a young boy to you.
I'm a grown man who can consent.
A young boy to a 70 plus.
Yeah, I have no interest in role playing being a
I
little boy.
know. We digress. I digress. I didn't mean to kink shame. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yuck your yum.
Ew, I hate that.
I know. I hate that phrase too. Yes. Age, sure. Motherhood, sure. What am I? I think also like the fact that we are given the space, you and I have given each other the space to continue to explore what we want in life for ourselves and for our family, keeps doors open to like explore not only career related things, but like relationship related things. And that's always something that's been interesting to me. And like I said, it's like the safety of feeling like you getting a phone call, the safety, that we've established with each other, which I feel like there is safety here for us, is what allows me to go off and do certain things.
Yeah.
I always say I'm an experiential learner, and sometimes I have to like experience pain to also realize that like maybe that's not for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a compartmentalizer like you. I would love a dash of it, quite honestly, but it doesn't seem to run through my veins.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, you know, I like kind of started this career change like a year and a half ago, and it's not easy, and it requires a lot of self-discipline, and there's all sorts of things like trainings and certifications that I want to finish and complete, and they require time and money that I don't feel like I have available to me all the time. And so, yeah, why not go on the app and just like sext and flirt and hang out and get immediate gratification?
Yeah.
Sure.
And
I
you're
think that's
saying
part
that
of it.
like,
I don't think that's all of it.
and you're being a little sarcastic and silly while
Yes.
you're saying that.
Yes.
For the listener.
But I do
to be
think-
clear, like, I guess like what you're saying is like you're sort of investigating like where the addiction line is and where the avoidance stuff might be.
Yes.
Could be.
I'm trying to find the edge.
Yeah.
Of like what is safe and what isn't for me. And I just discovered what isn't in this last relationship that burnt bright and intense, and now she's out.
Would you say the short version is that you got ghosted?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a full ghosting, I guess, because there was some.
It was like a spooky apparition.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, spooky.
It was like a Ouija fiddle.
Yes, and I don't know why I was surprised, but once I used the phrase love bombing to this person, ever since then I have like they refused to speak to me on the phone or see me in person.
Yeah, you want to talk in person. That was interesting to me where like the thing I saw myself most in was this person. And you haven't shown me. I haven't read text. You haven't brought me all the way in because I don't think that's appropriate. But
Yeah.
you've been pretty.
Well, I was in the thick of it. I was showing you because I was in.
No,
a
you
lot
never.
of-
You didn't show me text.
I thought I showed you the one thing that they had written to me, and then what I had written back.
No, I've seen.
You were like, uh-huh.
No, you've also been processing this with several other people.
I know, but there was a morning when I was about to get in the shower, and I showed you something, and you were like, I used to send texts like this, and I was like, should I break up with this person over text?
You read me them, and that's
okay.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, like basically, this person put you in the position to like make the heart, like they were
Right.
trying to get you to break it off with them,
Which
so
they
that,
claim they're not, but
of course. Well, yeah, like, you don't.
you're like, yeah, classic.
You don't admit to it. So yeah, I guess I I don't know where I was going. I got sidetracked. But the point is that like, yeah, you got involved with an avoidant personality who doesn't seem to have the emotional maturity to like, you know,
Yes.
be a clear communicating
Well,
adult.
and I think I've also, you know, this person also identifies as an addict who believes they're doing their own form of recovery through therapy, which might very well be true. But for people like us who get recovery from like communities, and I don't think 12-step is for everybody, but I think for me, if I'm going to date somebody who is a self-identified addict and they don't have a lot of friends, they don't have a lot of social stuff going on, they don't appear to have community, and they only have their therapist, that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah.
For me, because
Well, that's kind of an interesting example of like what we're talking about of like what is the role of this kind of life and these relationships. I wonder if they have were you one of like 10 people that they're juggling, and like that can feel like community.
yes.
Because there was a time I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was seeing like 3 people at the same time, other than you, and
Look at him go.
it felt like, oh, I have friends. This is a social
Sure.
life. Like
Yeah.
this is, but it
don't-
wasn't. I think it can be.
Yes.
And some people do the whole polycule and the
Sure.
this
Kitchen
and that.
table.
I think that's its own thing. Like, whatever.
I know it's its own thing.
But the point is, like, I don't really want all that. Like,
yeah.
right now,
not,
at least.
not through that avenue.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I like my social life to be my real friends who I'm not trying to bang, or
Right.
like I think it's important to have like a friend group, and if their whole social life was like this rotating cast of partners, like that seems like somebody that's not like operating in day-to-day reality.
Right. And also working from home and doesn't have to work that hard.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, it was like, but also I don't think there was a rotating cast of characters, at least in this very brief interlude with me. It was all me. And how intoxicating. I'm like, really? And I'm a Libra. I always like to say I love attention and compliments. I'm ruled by Venus. It's been very clear to me since I was a young age, if you're into astrology. And I fall prey to that kind of stuff, like being somebody's muse, somebody being floored by my energy and my person. I'm like, oh my God, me? Yeah. That is very intoxicating to me.
Yeah.
And I can struggle with like setting the boundaries and seeing the line, like drawing lines in the sand of like this. All this is like lust and excitement.
Yeah.
For now, you know.
Yeah, and like somebody like that, your personality type is the perfect fit for somebody
To love bomb.
Yeah, like who who wants what they want, and
I do want to say, I don't think that this person is like evil or malicious.
Yeah.
I just think we're not a good match, and they've got their own journey to go on that like doesn't involve me.
Yeah.
And some things to work out from my perspective that maybe they think they've already worked out, but I don't think they have.
Yeah, and I think
And so do I.
Yeah, and like I think it's okay. I mean, we are very sex positive. It's okay to like meet somebody and allow yourself to have like a casual adventure, or like with the hope that maybe this could be a really cool match, maybe we could be serious. But if you're going to if let it get sexual very quickly, just like accept the fact that this could be it. Like this
Right.
could be just a one-off thing. If you do it safely, like that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But if you want a deep connection with somebody that's more than that, like I think there is some wisdom to like the old school way of doing it, of like I don't hook up with people on the first date or whatever.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things work for people because you
take time to get to know somebody.
Yeah. So that's my that's my 1980s pitch for.
But I do want to go out on dates with you.
Yeah.
And hang out with you.
Me too.
If we ever have time and
or money
or hire a babysitter, all those things.
I mean, after this summer of hustling for work, I'll see you in September. We'll get to know each other again.
Well, the thing is, we are going to go to Connecticut and stay with my parents. We will have free childcare, and that will allow us to reconnect and be together.
If I'm not working.
You're not going to be working all 3 weeks we're there.
You never know. You never know.
Well, then maybe I'll come back with you. And so when you're not working, if it's not a 24/7 thing, we get some time together.
Now we're talking.
Right?
Now we
got to think outside the box a little bit here.
We are tri-state, whatever the word for bi-coastal, but tri-state.
Tri-state coastal.
We're duo state coastal, Connecticut, New York.
We're north-south coastal, okay?
Yeah.
So anyways, things are done between me and this person, not very unceremoniously for me. I mean, I wish I could just be like, this has been great, also not great, best of luck.
Yeah. Here are some numbers for some support groups you can check out.
Well, also, I mean, then you start to think about the red flags, right? Like, as soon as I revealed that I had gotten sober in our secret club, they were like, oh, yeah, I tried that. Too bad, like, the church is involved. And I was like, no, they're not.
And this person was late 30s, almost 40.
Just out of something really serious where they, like, owned property and,
like, some of that stuff, I'm just like, is this a 24-year-old?
Yes.
You know? And I'm like, I resent that. I just resent that anybody can get on these apps and present themselves as anything or any vibe and, like, not actually have done the work. But
I mean, it's subjective, right? It's like, it doesn't feel like the work to us, but maybe to them it does, you know? And not to defend this person.
Well, I just mean,
shit. So
I just mean have done the work, not around the recovery. I'm saying have done the work around, like, what it means to care for another person in a non-monogamous way. That's more than just a hookup. Like if you met on a hookup app or if you met, like, specifically to hook up, then that's a whole other thing. But like if you met talking about, like, I'm looking for a sustainable, cool person, whatever.
Well, this is the love bombing element, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I mean.
And by the way, I also could be totally projecting too. Like
Well, the bottom line is that this person has refused to speak to me on the phone or see me in person since Tuesday of last week. Like, will not intermittent texts, but will not speak to me or talk. Will not. I've asked them to meet me for coffee. I've asked them to talk on the phone with me.
Yeah, like
they're refusing. They either don't respond or they say, "I still need time."
Yeah, like all this. It's
and
just
that is unacceptable.
Yeah,
to me.
and like
that is fucking cruel, and not the way I ever want to be treated by anyone. You want to take space, fine, but like, this is a 2-person situation, and like, if you claim to like care so deeply about someone, even if it's new, and you're like, I respect you and I care about this relationship that we've started, you gotta meet halfway and be like, okay, let's talk. I still need space, but I'm willing to get on the phone with you so that we can just like, I mean, meanwhile, you know, I'm never going to get what I want, right? Like, I'm never going to get like, I'm so sorry, that was unacceptable, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to get that because they're seeing it their way and I'm seeing it mine. But like, to refuse speaking to somebody by either just not, like, the last text was me basically pleading with them to get on the phone with me so that we could hear each other's voices and not like misunderstand each other through text anymore. That was Thursday afternoon, and I haven't heard anything. Like, there was no response to me saying, could you meet me halfway? This is painful.
But like, what's interesting about like hearing you share your frustration is like it reminds me of the way I heard you talk about the relationship you were in when we met. Like it just
totally
like that kind of behavior kicks up this ancient
self-consciousness
stuff for you.
Yes, completely.
That, like,
it's so old. It's so old.
I'm so sorry for, and I respect and whatever, but I
feel so bad.
Let me get to the negative part.
Oh, okay, great.
But it's like fucking annoying and exhausting, and I'm just like, we're not doing 20-year-old shit anymore. Like we're done with it.
You're annoyed and exhausted by me doing that?
By the whole thing, not at you. I think I can hear you, and I respect you, and I want you to process your stuff. But like, I think that person created a situation that just kicks up this old dynamic that I'm just like, we're too old for this shit. It just comes down to me to like I was scrolling
it's getting in
Reddit.
The way.
It gets in the way of our life.
It's getting in the way. I agree. I agree completely.
And I was scrolling Reddit the other day, like the polyamory subreddit comes up a lot for me, and somebody said something about like, God, what was it? It was just like, how do I talk to my nesting partner about my new partner, and should I introduce my meta to my blah blah blah? And it's just like, I just like was like, I think I was feeling just resentful toward polyamory in general, just because of what this week has been like.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is also annoying and fucking exhausting.
Yes.
And annoying and exhausting is what keeps coming up for me. And I'm just like, I don't want to like, you know, it's not that I don't want to hear it. It's just like, I don't want you to be put through that.
Sure, I know.
And I guess that's like a fear I have is like, what's the next one going to look like? What's the fallout going to be for me and our household? Because there were some challenging days this week, you know, amidst like very special days. Like it was Franny's birthday over the weekend.
Oh yeah, it was her kid's birthday.
It was Father's Day yesterday, and like there were things like that. I'm just like, why are we? I hate that this is even a thing we have to think about right now.
I agree. My devil's advocate will say, if it wasn't polyamory, it might be something else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that like by removing that, if we were to say, okay, we don't do this anymore, we're monogamous, that like other things wouldn't come up and reveal similar frustrations.
Yeah, and I'm not getting at like, wouldn't it be simpler if we just didn't do this anymore?
Sure.
Like, I'm not getting at that. Like, I don't think we're a monogamous couple. Like, I may be in a monogamous space right now.
Yeah.
But
you might want to let that dick out.
I might take it out right now, because this shot, you haven't seen my ankles.
His legs are gorgeous.
I'm allowed to take it out. No, I guess I'm just like, I guess if I had a request, it would be like, could you tighten up your vetting process?
Sure.
Or something. Like, just really proceed with caution.
I agree.
I
mean, these are the things I've been talking about with friends, with my therapist. And, you know, my therapist actually was like, I don't think that this started with this person. I think this started with your reconnecting with an old flame.
Oh, that's a whole other episode.
In Los Angeles in March. And yeah, I agree. And that person similarly unavailable, unable to communicate in a way that I prefer, literally lives thousands of miles away, but like being drawn to some, like my therapist keeps bringing up that like this 20-something-year-old part of me is like having a temper tantrum and like wants to be heard, and like, you know, parts therapy if you've done it. And so I'm talking about that, and I'm like exploring that as like, okay, what is it that I'm like trying to sort through? Like I don't entirely know. I don't know if it's like a distraction, if it's wanting to feel wanted in a different way, the excitement of the drama, the addiction to that sort of thing. Like, I think it's like a bunch of different things going on that, because really for me, like knowing there was a fantasy around that person in LA before I even went, and it was escape, and like not necessarily from us, but from all of it, right? From responsibilities as a 41-year-old who's trying to change their career and make money and take care of the family and right? And I think there's an element to like when I was in my 20s, yes, things were fucking crazy and I was in so much pain all the time, like emotionally, but it was also like pretty simple. Like it was just like me
and heightened, intense.
And it was just me, myself, and I thinking about me, myself, and I all the time to a very selfish extent in a very addictive way of like, how am I like my feelings, and so that is definitely a whole part of this situation. I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse.
Well, I think it's good you've recognized this 20-year-old part of you.
Yes.
But it's like, do you want to keep letting her control who you spend time with?
I don't. I don't. That's my point.
Yeah. And well, something I keep thinking too that I want to raise is like, I just think on apps, like I know this person you saw last was non-binary, but like
I know you're scared about
any
misleading identities.
Well, I don't know. I don't really want to get into that, but like anybody who is presenting more as male, I think who is engaging with like no strings or open whatever with you, like your old ex from LA, like, or this recent one, or any dude on there.
Yes.
Like, chances are they are more interested in closer to the no string side of things.
Of course.
So like, is the 20-year-old version of you like actually more attracted to those personalities on there?
And
versus the 42-year-old version of you.
Correct.
Are you 41?
I'm 41. This is the most infuriating part of the whole conversation.
So it's like, which one of you is swiping at any given time?
I understand.
You know what I mean? Like, it's been a long day. She won't wear the dresses you bought. She wouldn't eat dinner. I'm grumpy.
Yeah.
I smell like peanut butter. Who picks up the phone? Who picks up the phone to swipe? 25-year-old you or 41-year-old you?
Yeah.
And which one should be driving the bus?
I mean, obviously 41-year-olds, maybe 42-year-olds. And I want you to know that I hope you can hear that I'm on the same page as you. Like, I hear you, and that's what I'm feeling right now after the fallout and what I've been like processing and discussing and going to that. I went to like a queer meeting, a queer 12-step meeting over the weekend, and some of those people are in another fellowship around sex and love. And I was talking to somebody, which actually was an interesting, they're trans, non-binary, like she, they pronouns. And they mostly date cis women, born a male, this person. And I was sort of explaining, like, getting involved with this person was very exciting because it was like, oh, they're queer and non-binary. Like, they might look like this, but really they're this. Like, how exciting. And they were like, well, just because they're that doesn't mean that they know how to date like a woman. Like, they've been dating like a man their whole life. And so they're going to treat you in probably the way that you've been treated before by other cis het men, And I was like, yes.
Like, can you say that again?
But that person also was so kind to me and like, understood what I was going through and how I got there, and like, that it does scratch some part of our addict brain to engage in the drama and the chaos of this sort of stuff. But I hope you realize also that my threshold for that is like much smaller. Like to be uncomfortable and distracted about that stuff, I have a much smaller window.
Yeah, and you're not like staying for the abuse, because that is also intense and exciting on some discomfort, cave person level.
The discomfort is, I have such limited space for that discomfort that I'm pretty quick to be like, therapy, 12-step programs, call my friends. And I guess I just want to remind you of that.
No, I
too. Yeah, that I'm not, yes, I can be carried away, but like I want to do the work so that I don't. I mean, honestly, like I had a moment on, when was it? I think it was Friday or Saturday night, and I felt really in addiction. I was like smoking cigarettes on the roof. I'm like texting the woman I've been dating for a long time, like saying crazy shit. I like went on the app. I'm like texting some woman on the app. I felt like I was buzzing, but I also felt miserable. Like I was so sad.
You described it to me as you wanted a hit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the woman I've been dating for the past couple of years, who's like lovely and stable and very aware of all of this stuff, she was like, I know you're going through it, but like I feel like a second choice with you like telling me all of this, and it's like making me really uncomfortable. And it was like that, and knowing that I'm like upstairs smoking cigarettes while like you're like getting Fran ready for bed. I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like this is like so weird and gross. And I felt like early sobriety. It felt like when I would be so anxious and uncomfortable, like counting days, and I would like order a bunch of food like late night, or I would like, there were literally times where I would just like put on running sneakers and like run, which like isn't the worst, but it was like pure adrenaline, anxiety and discomfort where I was just like, I have to run, you know? Yeah. And it felt like that. And which is why I went to a meeting the next day. And I cried during the whole meeting, and
now you're fixed.
And now I'm totally better.
Everything's gonna be fun. We do have to wind this down. This does feel like something that may be an ongoing discussion. We're grappling with
off the pod.
No. If you want to talk more about this stuff on here, because this is another Ross episode. The people, they want more Ross on We Hired a Sitter for this. But
they're going to be like, you're a terrible wife and mother.
No, I just think it's interesting. I don't know if there's anybody that's talking this honestly about grappling with adulthood and motherhood and getting older and parenting while doing all of this, and aging and life and death, the big stuff.
If you want to pay me for any of it, if anyone's listening who'd like to, you know, I don't know, give me a book deal, but you write it.
Yeah, as told to.
I'm going to need a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they want to put you on a podcast channel and like we make money off, you know, any way you want to like finance this rigorous truth and honesty that no one's doing.
This is the podcast equivalent of having a dirty underwear OnlyFans.
Yes. It's emotional dirty underwear.
Yeah. Take a sniff.
I'm like, poor Gastor. He's like, so I listened to the episodes I wasn't on. This really isn't my brand.
He's too busy. He's not listening.
God willing.
He's not listening to this podcast.
Otherwise, he's like hopping off. And is
you talked about day counting. I wanted to report to the listeners who have to be, they must be interested to know that I'm on today's day 25 of no junk food. 25 days. I did have a waffle this morning with peanut butter and honey on it.
What's your bottom line?
My bottom line.
What's your bottom line?
No ice cream, no cookies, no cakes, no pies. I made an incredible birthday cake for Franny. I didn't touch it.
He didn't.
Except for making it.
So instead, I fucking like
ham sandwiched it last night.
Over the sink. The sad hunch over the sink.
You made a reservation at Sinkles.
Yeah, exactly. I made a reservation at Sinkles,
cake.
and I grabbed fucking rainbow funfetti cake, and I was just like,
You checked in
while
the
crying.
Sinkles. You got the Sinkles, and they're like, "Do you want a drink?" And you're like, "Actually, I'm ready to order. I'll just have the cake."
I'll take the half-eaten birthday cake in that to-go container.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
No
water.
Yeah, so I'm trying to, my bottom lines is no junk food, like no Drake's cakes, donuts, anything in a package.
No donuts. We're on a strict no donuts.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what those are, Google them.
So the worst things I've had in the last 25 days are some yogurt and granola with a little jam in there.
I think you have to change your language about it too. Like, that's not worst. Like,
things like people on the no sugar subreddit would say these were definitely
sure.
like out of bounds. And then the waffles.
But that's why it's your bottom line.
What else? Oh, some cereal, some breakfast cereal, but no junky ones. Like I'm not doing Count Chocula and being like, well, it's just breakfast cereal. The other thing I wanted to say while we're still recording, I gotta make a little promo here.
Sure.
Can I talk about my dates to
I
you
know.
guys?
Instead, it's like you interviewed me for an hour about my mental illness.
That's fine.
But yeah, you go ahead and tell everybody what you're up to.
Speaking of leaving our family, next week I'll be up in the Binghamton area doing shows from Tuesday, June 25th through Saturday, June 29th. It's a bunch of shows. Go to patrickholbert.com. All the information's on my calendar. But a big one I wanted to mention is Wednesday, June 26th. Let me make sure. Can you look at the calendar?
June what?
26th.
I believe that's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Wednesday, June 26th, I'm putting on a show called Patrick Holbert and Friends at the Hurleyville Performing Arts Center in Sullivan County, New York. Christian Finnegan is headlining. He's one of the best comedians in the world, in the country. He was on Chappelle's show. He's been on Conan, the Late Late Show with James Corden, lots of other TV stuff. VH1's Best Week Ever.
You'll recognize him.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's headlining. Liz Barrett's on the show. Rich Kiyomko's on the show.
That's some good people.
Yeah, and Mike Peters from Binghamton is on the show. It's going to be a great time. The only catch is that it's comedy on a Wednesday night.
Right.
So Sullivan, Ulster counties, can you prove me wrong? Can you prove to me that comedy can exist on a Wednesday in the summertime? Here's my vision. My vision is that you graduated high school, school's over, Little League's over, you're going to go camping up in Roscoe, you're going to go to the Beaver Kill campground, you're going to go somewhere camping up there, and you need some entertainment because summer vacation has begun, so you got to get out.
Yeah.
Hi. So you got to get out and have some laughs on a Wednesday.
Oh, my God.
Wednesday, June 26th, 7 p.m., please come out and see some comedy, or else that night I'm going to have off. I'm going to go do a show in Binghamton on Tuesday and then have to kill time for 48 hours till my next show Thursday night.
We don't want to cancel this show with these heavy hitters.
No, these people are great.
Come on.
Come to the show.
Come on.
Ross won't be there.
Nope.
Should be here with my mother-in-law. Is my mother-in-law going to be here by then?
Yeah. Yes. And I've got some Pride events coming up that week.
Oh, yeah. She's going to Dyke March. She's going to go.
Dyke March.
Get strapped on for the Dyke March.
No. But I might wear a mesh shirt with nothing under it because that's what people do at the Dyke March.
Ham sandwich.
Hey, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I hope you know that.
I do. I love you and trust you and believe in you.
It's very rare, I think, that couples can talk like this with each other. And it's not lost on me. So I'm not getting a divorce.
No divorces.
No divorces.
This is the No Divorce podcast.
I like you, even though you're straight. Some might even say I love you.
I love you very much.
Oh, that's nice.
Bye, everybody.